All right, welcome to another episode of the Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show. I'm Robert Lentini, and we're going to go over the January 15th episode of AEW Dynamite. Took place in Cincinnati, Ohio. It was the Maximum Carnage edition of AEW Dynamite. There was an AEW World Championship match tonight. Jon Moxley versus Powerhouse Hobbs. A Casino Gauntlet match. And Kenny Omega's return to the ring, and we'll start there. Kenny Omega battled Don Callis family's Brian Cage tonight in his return to the ring. Makes no sense storyline-wise. The last time we saw Omega before he returned at World's End was him getting demolished by the Elite. They flipped over his stretcher. That's who he should be targeting. He should have went right after Okada instead of handing him the title with the All In logo in the background, setting up that match for All In Texas months away. He should be irate with the Elite. That should be his focus, but instead, he's fighting Brian Cage tonight. And after crapping on how they ignored the storyline, I will say this was a damn good match. Omega and Brian Cage have great chemistry in the ring. The Machine, Brian Cage, is just an absolute brick shithouse of a man. I don't know how better to describe it. It's ridiculous. He's a walking muscle that can do ridiculous amounts of move for a man his size. I don't understand the athleticism he has with so much muscle on him. It's incredible. But they've never really done anything with Brian Cage, and it's kind of too late in AEW now for him to just have a random AEW World Championship reign or a TNT title reign. I guess they could do that. They should. The guy's pretty damn good. He dominated the match. Omega went for a Hurricane Rana on the entrance ramp. Cage countered into a powerbomb that sent Omega from the entrance ramp to the ring. It was really cool. And but in the end, wound up getting Cage with the one-winged angel for the pinfall victory. And it was a great return match for Omega, aside from the fact that they ignored the storyline that should be present there. But after the match, Kyle Fletcher, Lance Archer attack. But Will Ospreay made the save, and they're an unlikely duo here, an unlikely alliance. Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega fighting off the Don Callis family. Still feel like Omega and Ospreay should be focused on the Death Riders and the Elite, and not the Don Callis family and Takeshita, who was also involved in this. He raised the International Championship in Omega's face, so we got Okada raising the Continental Classic Championship. We got Takeshita raising the International Championship in Omega's face. What's going on with the main storyline here of the Death Riders taking over AEW and the Elite who attacked Omega and is in storyline the reason he's been gone? Other than the diverticulitis diagnosis, the last time we saw him before his return again, the Elite attacked him. I can't believe they ignored that. But Omega looks great. It was a great match against Brian Cage, 15-minute open to the show. It was very entertaining. You just can't get over that storyline shit. Something that wasn't entertaining at all was Chris Jericho's New York Minute tonight. They're having a 12-man tag team match. It's rated FTR, Powerhouse Hobbs, and the Outrunners versus the Learning Tree. That's Chris Jericho, Brian Keith, and Big Bill, and the Death Riders. This is, Claudio, Wheeler Yuta, and Jon Moxley. That's taking place at Collision this Saturday night. Collision Maximum Carnage, but it'll be taped tomorrow night. The match itself, but there was a huge backlash when this match was announced. Like, all fans on social media was like, what the hell is this match? Who wants to see this match? The answer is nobody wants to see this match, really. But Jericho's leaning into that backlash in the New York Minute, saying it's one of the most highly anticipated matches of all time. We'll see about that. Rated FTR, Powerhouse Hobbs, and the Outrunners versus the Learning Tree and the Death Riders. Sounds like just a shitty match to me. Just a bunch of people thrown in a ring. Who cares? Then we get to a great part of the show, though. Ricochet, who a couple weeks ago brutally attacked Swerve Strickland, stabbed him in the head with a pair of golden scissors in an incredible angle, came to the ring, got the Dominic Mysterio treatment from the crowd. The AEW crowd just wouldn't let him speak, booed every time he tried to say something. I will say also, they're doing these smaller venues. Tonight's show looked great. You could tell it's a smaller venue, so when they do the drone shots and stuff, it doesn't look as cool, but it sounds so much better. There's still just minutes on end without any noise because the crowd simply isn't interested, but when they are interested, you could tell. So praise AEW for going to smaller venues at this moment. They just can't get bigger fans in attendance, and they finally admitted it, and it looks great. It's worked out for them. But Ricochet shushed the crowd. He didn't say anything, and finally said, you know what, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and showed an image of himself stabbing Swerve Strickland in the head. Strickland's music hits. Prince Nana gets in the ring behind Ricochet and hits him with a chair and starts dancing around. Then, like a horror movie villain, Swerve Strickland slowly made his way down the entrance ramp with a chain wrapped around his neck, gets into the ring, tries to hit Ricochet with the chain. Ricochet escapes, chases them literally out of the arena. So that was that segment. Really well done. I'm really into Ricochet's character right now. He doesn't need to speak. He barely said anything. I thought they did this promo tonight very well. And Strickland is just an absolute badass and should be one of the faces of AEW for the next several years. He signed a massive contract, so they should continue to build him. He's just, after the World Championship reign, I thought he kind of like was running in place, but this angle, this storyline has got me invested in Strickland again as well. MVP made his return to the ring tonight with Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin in a 6-man tag match against Private Party and Mark Briscoe. Private Party are the AEW Tag Team Champions. Hurt Syndicate are going after those titles. They're definitely winning the titles from Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy. Private Party have done nothing with the titles since taking them from the Young Bucks in like November. It's been a couple months now. It's just been nothing. So Hurt Syndicate obviously got this win. It's good to see MVP back in the ring. They pinned Mark Quinn. So they got a pinfall victory over one of the champions. They didn't pin Mark Briscoe in this match. It's just Private Party's just dead in the water. It's just a very disappointing reign for them. The worst part of tonight's show, unfortunately, and it's becoming a bit of a trend with MJF. His storyline with Adam Cole, those promos, how long it dragged on. He was like one of the down parts of the show. Like I wasn't looking forward to an MJF segment, and that's ridiculous to say. He's the most charismatic star they have. It's absurd to say that I'm not looking forward to a MJF segment. But once again, I find myself in that position because they are going full bore with this Jeff Jarrett and MJF storyline, and I just couldn't give a shit. So Jeff Jarrett comes to the ring to cut a promo. He's interrupted by MJF right away. Jarrett accused MJF of, looking for an easy way out and avoiding the Casino Gauntlet match. MJF said Jarrett is the last thing your favorite wrestling company sees before it dies, which is a great line because Jarrett's history is pretty spotted with that shit. Jarrett admitted that the best years of his career are behind him, but the AEW fans awakened something in him when he fought for the Owen Hart Cup, and he wants to become the AEW World Champion in his final year in the ring. He claimed that he's done everything MJF has done in his career, but better, and he did it before him. MJF said that Jeff Jarrett was the Grim Reaper of professional wrestling and said he'll be the only person in the world who knows what generational talent and an Olympic gold medalist balls taste like, essentially saying he's going to sleep with Karen Jarrett, who was the ex-wife of Kurt Angle. If you don't know that backstory, there it is. And Jeff Jarrett said he didn't know if MJF was a dumbass or a scumbag or both, and said his mother was a call girl, a Canadian call girl, and his dad was an ambulance chaser, and he's probably still paying her for sex. I don't know where the hell this promo was going after this. I was just looking at my TV in amazement. He called MJF a one-hit wonder. They got a one-hit wonder chant. MJF flipped out, said he was nothing like Jarrett, didn't need his daddy to make him a top name, and he took credit for All In 2023, said he was the best in the world during this promo as well. I don't know why they keep doing that with the CM Punk references. I don't think it's intentional at this point. He then grabbed Karen Jarrett, who came down to the ring with Jarrett's crew, Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh and Jay Lethal. He grabbed Karen Jarrett and used her as a shield when Jeff Jarrett was coming towards him, and then ran away. Let me just repeat that. MJF used Karen Jarrett as a shield and then ran away. And now normally that's, MJF heel tactics makes perfect sense. It's Jeff Jarrett. He's in his 60s. It's a stupid visual. It's dumb. This whole angle is ridiculous to me. What the Excalibur and Tony Schiavone, and Taz returned on commentary tonight too. Excalibur and Tony Schiavone on commentary saying, well, MJF's always looking to take the easy way out. I guess, yeah, he didn't want to be in the Casino Gauntlet match, but in what world is the easiest way to become AEW World Champion is to help Jeff Jarrett win it? I don't understand how that makes any sense. It's not easy to help Jeff Jarrett become AEW World Champion. It's just a dumb storyline. It's just, I find it stupid. Just a waste of MJF's time on television. It's Jeff Jarrett. You know, like, the whole promo was like designed, like, and MJF kept saying, and these fans want to see you become AEW World Champion, and nobody cheered. Nobody wants to see Jeff Jarrett become AEW World Champion. Who said that? Who's like, nobody wants this. I'm like, even if you're like a hardcore Jeff Jarrett fan, maybe you're interested in him having this Cinderella fairy tale story ending to his career, his in-ring career, but not at this time. Not where AEW is right now. This is not the storyline they needed. I just can't believe MJF has gone from that horrible storyline, being stuck in it forever with Adam Cole, that horrific storyline, finally comes to an end at World's End. And now we're doing this with Jeff Jarrett. What a waste of MJF. I just can't believe this. Christian Cage versus Hook. This match ended in a disqualification, I believe. Even though they were outside the ring for most of the match, Nick Wayne, Kip Sabian got involved and attacked while Hook had the red rum applied. Nick Wayne's mother and Shibata were ringside for this match as well, but it was thrown out once Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian interfered. And this led to Samoa Joe making his triumphant return. Great to see Samoa Joe back in AEW. One of the biggest stars, in my opinion, they have. One of the most consistent in the ring. He's a great on the microphone as well. Great to see him back. Patriarchy retreated to end the match. Also, I should mention on this Jeff Jarrett thing, Dustin Rhodes had a conversation with Jeff Jarrett after this match backstage and gave one of the most passionate promos of his career. Dustin Rhodes is way more invested than anyone else in the AEW audience in the locker room, than maybe even more than Jeff Jarrett himself, in seeing Double J win the AEW World Championship. Great promo by Dustin Rhodes, not taking anything away from him. Just, I don't care about Jeff Jarrett winning the AEW Championship, and I don't think anybody does, really. The women's Casino Gauntlet match happened tonight. The winner will face Mariah May at AEW Grand Slam Australia on February 15th. It was Jamie Hayter and Chris Statlander to start off the match. Both of those girls are great. Megan Bayne entered the match third. Don't know too much about her. She was on AEW Dark years ago. She looked great. They have something special in Megan Bayne if they book her right. She looked great. She had a Statlander with a Falcon Arrow, lifting Statlander up with ease, which is no small feat. Julia Hart entered the match next. She's brawling with Jamie Hayter. Will Nightingale also was in the match. Harley Cameron, Toni Storm. And in the end, it was Toni Storm who escaped with the win via roll-up. I think it was on Harley Cameron. She'll face Mariah May at AEW Grand Slam in Australia on February 15th. So that's the match I wanted to see. Toni Storm's character is, hilarious right now. She's just completely forgot about Timeless Toni Storm. But I want to see Toni Storm versus Mariah May. That makes sense. I don't know if they're going to have Toni Storm win the title back. We'll see. But she was the only one that made sense in this match to win. Just given her history with Mariah May. Finally, we get to the main event. Jon Moxley put his AEW World Championship on the line against Powerhouse Hobbs. Death Riders surround the ring right away. Wheeler, Yuta, Pac, Claudio Castagnoli are all hopping on the ring apron. Jon Moxley capitalizes and attacks Hobbs from behind. Powerhouse Hobbs got in some offense, battled back. Moxley, he ripped the earring out of Jon Moxley's ear, and it started bleeding everywhere because it's a Jon Moxley match. I'm surprised he didn't get busted open sooner, but he ripped this earring out of Moxley's head, blood everywhere. But in the end, of course, Powerhouse Hobbs could not win the match. Wheeler Yuta hit Powerhouse Hobbs with a running knee on the entrance ramp. Hobbs shrugged it off and hit a spine buster. Then Marina Shafir got involved, hit Hobbs with a briefcase over the head. Moxley hit a paradigm shift. Hobbs kicked out at 2, but then he locked in the Bulldog choke to end the match. He choked him out, and Hobbs passed out. Then they beat the shit out of him for a couple minutes before Rated FTR finally made the save. They could have gotten involved much sooner. I hate that. It's just, why did they wait so long to rescue him? He's just getting his ass kicked by 5 people. We'll come to the ring sooner, but it'll be Rated FTR and Powerhouse Hobbs and the Outrunners versus the Death Riders and the Learning Tree on AEW Collision. I will not be tuning in, but I will read the results and keep up with the product. But that is it for this week's Dynamite review. Decent show. Some great matches on here. Brian Cage versus Omega was the best match of the night. The AEW World Championship with Moxley and Hobbs was decent. Just the storyline sucks. And the MJF versus Double J, Jeff Jarrett promo, that storyline can't end soon enough. But I have a feeling it's going to be going on for months on end. And I don't know how they're going to get people to care about Jeff Jarrett. I don't know how they're going to accomplish that. I don't see a way they're going to get it done. You have your best promo in MJF, and he can't get people to care about this storyline. So, yeah, I can't stand what they're doing with MJF. I can't believe what they're doing with MJF is a better way of saying it. That is your Dynamite review. If you have not subscribed, please do so, and we'll see you guys on Friday night for the SmackDown review. Have a good one.